Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a quick video review of the new tool bag I've purchased. This is the Veto Pro Pack LC model. First off, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm not reinventing the wheel here by reviewing a tool bag that's been out for some 10 odd years, but it's new to me, and the opinions and reviews I found on YouTube of this model and similar ones to it by the manufacturer were the deciding factor in me making the purchase. I chose the LC having never seen it before. I'd worked with a couple people that had the XL model, and I really liked the layout, I really liked the construction of it, but I just felt it was too large. So I chose the LC and crossed my fingers that it would work, and upon getting it, I've realized that it is gonna be perfect. I'll just run over a few of the specs that I'm sure everyone's already seen on YouTube and read on the website a million times over. But the bag's made out of 1800 denier nylon, which, as many of you already know, that's nearly 3 times stronger than your typical tool bag. It's got the 3mm thick polypropylene base, the overmolded handle, the heavy duty shoulder strap, and upon seeing this bag and getting into using it, I realized that it's every bit as durable as people were saying on YouTube and forums on the internet were saying as well. It's got 57 pockets, including the 6 zippered pockets, 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and the 2 on the interior. Coming into the main compartment of it, which I'm choosing to use my most used tools, the pocket layout's perfect in my opinion. It's true that you can never really fill up these pockets. There's always room for another tool. I had a few more tools in it, but it was just ungodly, and I took a few out to lighten the load a little bit because these bags do get heavy due to the durable construction. I think this one's close to 8 pounds empty. But it's got room for everything. I'm not gonna review the tools or take every single one of them out because you guys already know the tools, and that's not the purpose of the video, but just to see the actual pocket layout and see how much you can really get in these pockets was something that meant a lot to me and helped me decide in this. These pockets are heavily constructed. Everything about the bag was just really top notch, down to the plastic piece they have in the back there to keep your tools from actually catching on fabric as you insert them. And I did this push test with some of the screwdrivers to see if I could break through that nylon, and it's not going to happen. These bags are built to last. My biggest reservation in purchasing this bag was the fact that it's made in China, and I am heavily a big heavy supporter of American-made products. So that was one of the things that kept me from making the purchase sooner. That and the price tag, obviously, but I started doing the math into the $100 bags and $80 bags that I'd purchased over the last couple years, and realizing that none of them were going to make me quite as happy as what I thought this could do as far as ease of tool storage and protection from the elements. It was worth the sticker price. I mainly wanted to put a review up of this bag because I felt that most of the reviews I was seeing were HVAC related and a lot of trim carpentry, which is great. I'm happy that these bags are versatile enough for everyone to use them. But I'm an electrician by trade, and I wanted to get another video up on YouTube showing trade specific that this is going to be an excellent bag if you choose to use it as an electrician. I know that we are required to carry unnecessary amount of tools, it feels like sometimes, and I just could not get enough tools into other bags to satisfy my needs. This was probably the closest to it I found, and it's the Klein aerial bucket. It's 29 pockets, 15 outside, 14 inside, or maybe I got that backwards. This was the closest to it I could find that did the job for me, and it did hold almost everything that I have in the Veto now. It was in here. The only thing with it was once you start loading up the outside of this and getting tools and channel locks and pliers and whatnot on it, it became very wide and very unyieldy and a pain in the ass to carry when you consider these 2 straps are just digging into the palm of your hand as you try and carry it, and it weighs 40 pounds or so. But moving into this bag, even in the short amount of time I've had it, I've realized that it's a lot more comfortable. The overmolded handle really makes a huge difference as far as the live load dynamic that Roger Berard and the guys from Veto Pro Pack talk about. It's not quite as static of a feel, and that is immediately noticed as far as my experience with the bag so far. And they really thought of everything. I don't know if it was specific to any trade that they were designing the bag for, but down to the pockets for, you know, precision screwdrivers, and the little bit of space bay here that I have deep sockets in, and a stubby and a wire twister. The layout of this was just perfect, and everything's functional too. I've had bags that had little pockets for, you know, bits or small screwdrivers, but none of them were actually functional. They would just look good when you were purchasing it at the hardware store. This bag seems to have the right pocket layout and the right sizing of pockets. I've seen people doing some of the modifications and nailing the pockets down and making 2 out of 1, but I haven't found a need to do that whatsoever so far with this. I've got everything in it, you know, down to the nut drivers and the screwdrivers, and obviously a unnecessary amount of Klein pliers and cable cutters. It's going to do everything I need it to do. I can tell already from the short amount of time using it. The exterior tape clip is great for me. I really liked the color scheme and some of the design features of the Tech LC as well. I know it's a newer product. In particular, I liked the fact that the shoulder strap clipped onto the overmolded handle. But for me, I'm not required to have power tools or any large meters at the company I'm with. My tool list is strictly hand tools and a continuity tester, which I have a Fluke on the other side. So I didn't feel I would utilize some of the pockets on the meter side of the Tech bag. I don't know if that helps anyone in deciding whatsoever, but those neoprene pockets, how loose and stretchy they are, kind of like the wetsuit material, I felt like if I tried to put any heavy tool or sockets or anything in there, they'd just stretch out and kind of bulge the bag out, fatigue the zippers, and that's not what I'm looking for at all, because I want this bag to last. I know it's got the great warranty, but I don't want to have to exercise that at all. One of the main things I was considering the XL for was hammer storage. I carry an E-Swing 20-ounce Rip Claw hammer, and it's 13.5 inches from here to the bottom of it, and this bag is just about 13 inches inside diameter. So I knew going into it that this was probably not going to fit laying flat, and I thought, you know, maybe I could buy another hammer or just put it in there at the angle that I am, and once I have it out, it'll probably be out for the whole day. So that wasn't a deal breaker for me, not having this hammer going to fit flush in the bottom bay of this bag when it would have in the XL. I just didn't need the 4th row of pocket setup in the XL. I'm one of the people that will fill up the pockets I have, and if I had the XL, I'd end up having stuff from all over the place and make it unnecessarily heavy. So this side is just more installation and less used. I have straight snips and combination wrenches and some crescents, a magnetic bowl, and flashlight, meters, files, reamers, drywall saw. This is more or less the stuff I'm probably not going to find myself using on a daily basis, minus the meter maybe, and I liked it being on this side. If I'm not going to be in and out of that bag as much, I probably wouldn't damage it, because as everyone on here knows, you know, any kind of meter, whether it's this one or one of the true RMS meters, they're not cheap, and I'd like to take care of it as best I can. There we go. I can't say enough good stuff about the durability and the construction of this product so far. One of the things that helped me decide in purchasing this was seeing some of the videos and posts from Roger Berard, the creator of these bags, was his unfading desire to bring the production of them to the United States, if financially possible. And that meant a lot to me, knowing that the company's trying to bring their product back to America. And I understand just from seeing this bag, and as opposed to seeing something, you know, like this bag and the cheap material and the just plastic bending pieces that just, you can destroy it in a week if you tried hard enough or worked hard enough. How these bags are built, I understand the logic that they could not put a price point on these that would sell or be readily available to Americans if they built them here, because the labor would be so much more expensive, the materials would be so much more expensive. But overall, I would not hesitate, if anyone on here is watching this, I would not hesitate whatsoever to consider buying these. I know they're not sold or marketed in a lot of hardware stores or even wholesale houses. I had a tough time finding them in my area, and I live in Central California, and I had a tough time getting face to face with any of these bags. It was mainly on the job, seeing people here or there, and it was mostly the meter bags. But just the quality of seeing those products and the couple XLs I've seen out in the field made the difference for me. I hear people say that they're Louis Vuitton of tool bags, and I believe it just because it's professional looking. My tools are protected. I've always been an open top tool bag kind of guy, and this feels like an open top. You know, when you consider the folding down and the marine grade rivets and the snaps they have in there. If I folded it to that height and zipped it up, it's virtually an open top bag with way more storage options. Because this open top bag, I ended up having shit all in the bottom of it, and I ended up digging and dumping out of the bottom of that as much as I would in a pure dig and dump bag, because it just did not have the pocket structure to hold the tools that I need on a daily basis. This already seems to have done that for me, and granted, I'm not carrying power tools or any big hacksaws or anything because it's not required for me. And if you are required to have any of that, you might consider the XL or the Tech XL, or getting a smaller bag, just one of their tote bags for those products. But as far as general hand tools go, I've got everything and more in this bag that I could ever need. And I think it's going to really benefit me knowing that it's closed, it's not going to tip over. I drive like a bat out of hell, and I've already tried, and I cannot tip this bag over in the back of the truck. So that's great for me, because I was picking my tools up 3 times a day out of this one, and every time I heard it tip in the back, I wanted to throw the bag out the window. This one's just solidly set up. I know that they say it's not waterproof, but it's very weather resistant. I know the base is waterproof, but this bag, it's raining right now where I'm working, and I had it out in the rain today and nothing got wet inside, and that's huge to me as well, because we pay a lot of money for these tools, and we pay a lot of money for the bag as well, but we like all of it to hold up as well as possible, and this, I feel, gives me at least the best chance for that to happen. So I hope I didn't bore anyone too much, and I know I didn't go too in depth into the tools and whatnot, but the bag is my concern at this point. If anyone wants to see any of the tools in particular, or have any questions, I'd be happy to dive into those in a separate video. But as far as the bag goes, the Veto Pro Pack LC model, I really encourage all tradespeople to take a look at these bags and the construction and the value of them. And in particular, I wanted to get it out there that the electricians really could benefit from this, because I do not see a lot of electricians with them. I do not see a lot of videos on YouTube or posts on the internet about them from electricians. Maybe it's not quite as much of a household name as something like Klein Tools, but it should be, because of the ease of which you could store your tools and access them out of these bags, whether you get the open top, the closed tops, or the totes, or anything else. I see too many people on jobs with unproductive setups, and they've relegated themselves to whatever looks best and whatever might get the job done like that one, and they end up not carrying the tools that they need for the job. And I had that problem when I had that bag. It's 15 pockets on the inside, and the tapered wall bucket. I loved the hook on it, and I was able to throw it up on the lifts and in the ladder cages and whatnot on the roof, and it was great as far as functionality. If I only needed a handful of tools, that'd be great. I'd love to put this bag into use, and it's made in America. Meant a lot to me. But I relegated myself to carrying less than I truly needed, and it hurt me. It slowed me down in the long run. I was going out to the car to get into that one, or get into that metal box and get something that I could not fit in there or did not find convenient to carry in there. And I see that with too many electricians on these job sites that I work on. I do primarily commercial and industrial work, and I see too many people with just bags that they throw everything in, and it's just they're digging and dumping out of these bags, and they're killing productivity. They're getting frustrated, and that's what I don't want to see is people of any trade, but particularly the trade I'm very invested in, being frustrated with the tool setup they have. It's unnecessary, and I know everyone's not going to work for everyone, but I personally think a lot of that could be alleviated by moving into a bag that has more trade-specific pocket layout and orientation of the bag platform. And going into the Veto Pro Pack, in the short time I've had it, it's really already benefited me and eased my frustration with the tool bags that I've previously purchased. So I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you out there. Thanks.